Hello Sagittarius, this is going to be your bonus reading for July 2018, which is going to start off with love and relationships, then your career or money or jobs, and then health. And there's a full-on thunder shower going on outside right now. Hopefully you will be able to hear the thunder. I love thunder showers. And it's funny, I know that Jupiter, the planet that rules Sagittarius, he used to be called Zeus, and he's the thunder god, so it makes sense that it's thundering during your reading. So I'm going to start off with your love and relationships. I'm going to pick 6 cards, and hopefully this will help you or give you some clarity in some way, or at least make sense to you. Okay. It's funny how the cars rolling through the rain puddles sounds a lot like ocean waves. Love and relationships for the Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising sign for the last 2 weeks of July, because these are coming out late. My goal is to have all the next batch of readings for August done by August 1st. Okay, let's see what comes out. Okay. All right. The top 3 cards, the first one, which is very pertinent in a love and relationship reading, is the Lovers, which is a major arcana card, which means it's a big deal, a big cycle. The next one is the 9 of Pentacles. The last one on the top is Here He Is Again. It's the Aquarian vibration King of Swords. On the bottom row is the Hierophant. In the middle of the bottom is the 5 of Pentacles. The final one on the bottom is the 10 of Swords. This is coming up for a lot of people. Feels like people are clearing away old things in order to make decisions in order to make way for the new, is what it seems like to me. It seems to be a major theme going on for almost all the signs. And then to get another scenario besides the one story that I'm getting in here, I picked another 3 cards. And they are the 6 of Cups, again, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. You have a lot of court cards in here. There may be a lot of people in your life right now that are coming up in your life right now. Okay. Let me shift a little bit here. So, in your past, concerning relationships and love, you have been doing a lot of healing concerning choices to do with relationships. There may have had to be major choices decided about relationships in order for you to move on and be healthier with relationships, or to make healthier choices with relationships. I'm getting a specific story in here, so we'll get into it. But I think that's short and sweet. I think that's pretty clear, is you are healing, reviewing, and listening to your own innate wisdom about making better, healthier choices with relationships, possibly determined by past choices with relationships that may have wounded you or hurt you, or you just realize that you are not the same anymore with relationships. You have evolved, and now you want to attract different vibrations with relationships. Currently, you have these two together, which is the 9 of Pentacles above the 5 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is about being independent monetarily, with things like money and providing for yourself, where you don't necessarily have to rely on anyone else. It can also be just in a relationship reading. This would be that you are fully enjoying your independence or your self-sufficiency at this time. You may be torn or conflicted about relationships because perhaps you don't want to let go of your freedom or your solidarity. You may also long for relationships, but it would have to be the right kind of relationship that would not take away from your own freedom or independence. Freedom is extremely important to Sagittarian individuals. They have to be able to freely move about. This does not necessarily mean freely move about as in having multiple partners. Sometimes that is true with Sagittarians. They have a hard time settling on just one person. Sometimes. But that's not true for all of us. But we do require trust from our partners to be able to have freedom to be who we are and be able to freely move without feeling trapped. When we feel trapped, we tend to try to escape relationships to get our freedom back. But combined with the 5 of Pentacles, this leads me to believe that perhaps you have felt left out in the cold or abandoned by love or relationships. And because you were abandoned or left out in the cold, or things didn't work out the way that you wanted, it has again focused you back onto being self-sufficient and being okay with being alone or being by yourself, or fulfilling your own needs rather than feeling as though you need someone else to fulfill your needs. If you look at this picture, look real closely at it. I realize my cards are extremely scuffed. They're ancient and a lot of the ink has fallen off, but you should still be able to see this. It is an adult and a child, barefoot, out in the snow, walking outside of either a home or a church that has stained glass windows. But in my deck, it's interesting because in the inside of the church or the house, there's a happy couple. And the woman or man with the child on the outside in the snow is looking in at that as if saying, I wish I had that, or I can't have that. Why do they have that and why can't I have that? Why can't I manifest that? I want that. I feel like I can't have that. And so perhaps you're tired of being self-sufficient in a certain way. Or you're tired of being alone, or you're tired of meeting all of your own needs on your own. Perhaps you long to have a connection with someone else in a relationship where you feel like your needs are met and you can meet your own needs. Both. Someone else can meet your needs, you can meet their needs, and you can meet your own needs. Perhaps you're realizing that it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can actually have both. Maybe something happened in the past where you felt you had met your match, but for whatever reasons it didn't work out, or you felt as though you were left out. So moving on, to me this is clearly speaking to people, Sagittarius people that are single. And so that's the reason why I picked so many other extra cards, as I was trying to get more information about the Sagittarians that are actually in relationships, which we'll get to. So this is the final card. And the King of Swords came up in your general reading in your surroundings. And I think there was something said about how you've been thinking about this person. Perhaps this person, not only did you feel left out by, this could be an Aquarius or a person who carries Aquarius energy. They don't necessarily have to have the specific sign of Aquarius, but it definitely has to do with the energy that is portrayed by Aquarius, which I went into in the general reading. And this could be a man or a woman, even though it's a king in here. But I'm definitely getting that this is an adult type person or a mature person. Whether they're young or old, it doesn't matter. Internally, they are mentally mature people or a person. But if you look at this, it looks like perhaps you felt betrayed or stabbed in the back or misunderstood, or perhaps someone turned their back on you. Or you turned their back on them, your back on them. In any case, this looks like a really painful ending, possibly one you didn't foresee, or you didn't foresee it ending in that manner. There seems to be a lot of themes for the signs this month about releasing trauma from the past, of being betrayed or misunderstood by others. I feel like this is a really huge healing time for people. So this leads me to believe that you have finally made a decision to let this completely go and to not hope that this person will come back or that things will be resolved. And also letting go of the fear that this will happen again. That you're finally healing. And connected to those two, again, is the Six of Cups. Looks like you went through some kind of trauma, whether it's a small trauma or a large trauma, about someone that felt like a dear soulmate. someone that wasn't deeply spiritually connected to you, and somehow things went sour or ended in a painful way. And because there is such a deep connection there, it's been hard to let that person go, or let go of the feelings that were involved, even though it ended. Either they ended it, or you ended it, or it just never even really happened in the first place. And so you long for this energy, though. You want that soulmate, deep connection energy. Just because it didn't work out with that one person doesn't mean that you can't find this. But by releasing the past and releasing past upsets or hurts, you can make way for new things in relationships. In which case, you have these two cards. So it could be two potential partners that you have to choose from. This could be one person that is coming into your life that displays both these qualities. Or the Queen of Wands could be you. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, just because this is a queen. The Queen of Wands is the fire queen. This is actually traditionally ruled by Aries. Here, let's just look at this one for now. So the Queen of Wands is creative. She is confident. She knows how to get what she wants. She's also extremely protective of young projects or young creatures, animals, people, things that are new, things that are delicate or vulnerable. She is very protective. She's like a mother lioness, even though she's an Aries. So this does not have to be an Aries, by the way. This can just be somebody who displays these qualities. This can also represent you, that you are in this position now. You feel confident. You feel good about where you're at. Excuse me. You're feeling protective of your own boundaries. You're ready to be acknowledged for who you are and honored for who you are. This can also be somebody that you are interested in, or they're interested in you. The other card is the King of Pentacles, who is traditionally in the tarot ruled by Taurus, which can be a man or a woman, even though it's a king. But this represents the energy of being solid, dependable, reliable, comfort-driven, as in very sensual, loves comforts of all different kinds, someone who's generous, kind, humble, someone who means what they say, who does what they say they'll do, that you can depend on. If they say they're going to meet you at a certain time on a certain day, they'll show up. This is also someone who's prosperous and stable and able to hold their own, able to create what they want on a material plane. He or she can also be stubborn at times, just like this person can be very strong-willed and very centered around what they want. But in any case, this could be somebody who shows both these qualities. And so, to me, it seems like before you possibly may have had feelings for somebody who was more mental, and now you're shooting for more somebody who is stable, dependable, and also creative, and can actually really be there for you. So that being said, for this obviously is a message for single Sagittarian people, or people who are considering getting into relationships, or just started ones. As far as relationships that already exist, I actually pulled these two cards for that. But I think I may pull a couple more just to get a different scenario for you guys in case you are in a long-standing relationship. Okay. Okay. Concerning Sagittarian people that are in relationships, I'm getting a conflict here, an internal conflict. And it has to do with freedom versus emotional fulfillment, where you are afraid. You have the Ten of Cups. Let's see, which one is that? Yeah, the Ten of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. It's the happily ever after card. It's about having your emotional needs met and all of your wishes come true. Or an emotional harvest of what you truly want actually manifesting, where you feel emotionally fed and nourished and blessed. You also have the Two of Swords, which is about being stuck in your own head or undecided or feeling trapped in your own head by your fears or thoughts or worries, or just being blind to what's possible for you or what's available to you. Having to make some kind of a decision and feeling stuck in not making that decision. And then you have the Four of Pentacles, which is about stagnancy and feeling stuck in an existing structure. So what I'm getting from these three is that what you truly want is emotional fulfillment with relationships. But you're afraid you're afraid of being trapped in a relationship where things are stagnant and you are unable to grow, evolve, and have adventures and freedom. You're afraid of having your freedom taken away from you. Or you may even be in a relationship where on a certain level your emotional needs are met and you feel as though you are happy, but on some other level you feel like you're not free to move. Or you may want to have what you truly want, but you are stuck in some kind of a relationship where you feel like you are not able to be yourself. And so you have to make some kind of a decision whether you go or whether you stay, or whether this can be resolved. Perhaps there's some way. I think I remember in your general reading you had the Ace of Swords as what was helping you. So it may simply be that you just need to speak with your partner about this and say, you know, I really want you to trust me enough to allow me to be freely myself instead of making me feel like I have to perform or be a certain way in order to make you happy. And if they trust you and love you, then they'll enable you to be able to be yourself and have freedom, or feel free. If it's meant to be, you will come back and you will stay. If it's not meant to be, and if they try to hang on to you or force you to be a certain way or to stay, that will probably end up eventually killing the relationship, because all Sagittarian individuals need a certain amount of freedom or need that trust from their partner to be able to freely move without feeling as though if they have freedom, somehow their partner feels threatened by that. And by freedom, I don't necessarily mean having other partners or being open to see other people. I just mean to have freedom to be yourself without feeling as though they feel threatened or insecure by the fact that you need freedom. That's an essential quality that Sagittarians have, that they have to have, otherwise they are absolutely not happy. And there's nothing sadder than a Sagittarian that is not happy. Your nature is to be optimistic. and happy. So concerning committed relationships for Sagittarians, you may need to have a serious talk with your partner about what your emotional needs are and about having your needs met. And also you may want to ask them if there's anything that they need where you can come up with some kind of a compromise where both of you are happy or feel secure. So that's basically what I got. And next is your career and money situation. Here I am again. Here's going to be for Sagittarius rising, sun, and moon sign for your career, jobs, and money. So I'm shuffling the cards. I'm going to pick 6 cards. Okay. Huh. I'm going to have to pick a couple more cards to go with this. This is really interesting. Okay. I wonder who the heck this is for. You'll have to excuse me. I'm on a hardwood floor and my knees are starting to hurt, so I gotta shift around to get more comfortable. Okay. Your first card on the top 3 is the Ace of Swords. Again, you had this in your general reading as what was helping you. You have some major things going on with jobs and career. This almost feels like it's for a specific person watching. But hopefully it'll make sense for a lot of you, or at least you can understand it. Your next card is, again, Death. I think you had this as your fears or hopes in your general reading. Your final card on the top is the King of Wands. Your bottom 3, first one is the Tower. Not very many people have gotten the Tower. That's totally unique. Your middle card is the 8 of Pentacles, which is actually a work card. Your last card on the bottom 3 is the Hierophant again. This is very significant. By the way, this card is traditionally, this card in most tarot decks is ruled by Taurus, but in my case, this card is actually ruled by Sagittarius because The picture shows Chiron, the wounded healer, and this is this particular deck. This card is co-ruled by Sagittarius and Virgo, by the way, and Chiron, which Chiron ended up to be placed in the sky by Jupiter as the constellation Sagittarius. So this is one of your cards. Maybe someday I'll do a little video about the myth of Chiron and how to interpret it in astrology with your own chart. So I had to pick 2 extra cards because I just needed a little bit more information. So interestingly enough, I got the Queen of Wands. And so you actually have the King and the Queen of Wands in here. They're a natural couple. They're the King and Queen of the same element. And the card to go with that is the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So in the past, with jobs, money, and career, there is the Ace of Swords above the Tower. The Ace of Swords is about making decisions and also deciding to start a new path involving, communications, speaking and listening. Sometimes this can, in a job reading, this can sometimes mean counseling or advising. Receiving messages, getting emails, phone calls, offers, invitations, deciding that you need more information about something, or really listening to your own perceptions, in which case in the past you may have had a perception or decided that it was time for something to crumble. Whatever you had going on for money or jobs before fell apart. And the reason why it fell apart is because it was no longer a sound structure in your life and you had outgrown it. Or you had lived out its lifespan and after a while you started to feel trapped by it. Or it was no longer feeding you anymore. And so for me, I'm feeling that you knew that it was going to crumble or it was time to go. And so before possibly the tower got struck, you might have jumped out the window before the lightning struck. You may have received some kind of a premonition or just decided early on, instead of allowing the universe to do it for you, you were just going to do it yourself. And so currently you are transforming your work, or you are transforming, ending old ways, beginning new ways, totally transmuting the old way of working, which to me, I'm getting a message here that says that you used to take it one step at a time or try to pace yourself, or it was one thing after another after another. It was all about slow, steady progress, keeping your nose to the grindstone, not really getting overwhelmed or thinking too much about the big picture. It was just about day-to-day upkeep and making sure that you were getting the things done that you needed to. But I'm specifically getting in here that you are transforming that now. You're realizing you don't necessarily have to take that approach anymore. I'm feeling that things are happening rather quickly, or you're manifesting things rather quickly, where you don't necessarily have to take that day-by-day attitude anymore. It's not about the mundane anymore. It's about magic now. And so in the future, you may have some kind of a breakthrough or massive spiritual healing process that opens up a gateway or creates a magical bridge. This is the Sagittarius card I was talking about here. Sagittarius is the centaur. The centaur is half man, half horse, or half woman, half horse. The horse half represents the horse half represents your instinctual animal instinct nature, or your grounded, earthbound, what's the word? Sensual, earthy nature. And the man or the woman top half represents the higher realms of dreams, ideas, inspirations. And where the two halves meet is the bridge. It's about honoring both sides of yourself, your instinctual beast nature or earthbound nature, and with your higher God, goddess, or divinity-oriented nature of the higher mind versus the earthly plane. And it's about bridging the two, being a bridge between the worlds where true manifestation can happen. And so you are fully getting in touch with this process, this healing process, where through being a bridge between the two aspects of your being, you can truly manifest on earth your dreams. And when that happens, synchronicities abound, magic happens, you have breakthroughs and sudden insights, and sudden magical things happen that speed up the process and make you realize it doesn't have to be the slow, steady, day-by-day, mundane approach anymore. Now, you are following your higher path. You are manifesting your higher path onto the earth plane. And so anything is possible. There goes the pouring rain, you guys. Let's see if thunder comes. And one of the things that is magically happening now is you are fully standing in your authority as possibly a guide or a teacher or a spiritual, I don't like the words spiritual teacher because we're all teachers and we're all spiritual beings. There is no such thing as a higher person than anyone else. Everyone is equal in their ability to learn and teach. Everyone is magical. Everyone has something that they carry that can help other people. So I'm not going to say that you're going to be a spiritual leader at all. That sounds very egotistical. What I am getting is you are going to manifest your ability to not only inspire yourself, but to help inspire and uplift other people. And possibly be in a humanitarian benefactor type role for other people, or a leader in your field. As far as what you do, a lot of this has come through very hard work on working on yourself spiritually, emotionally, physically, and keeping your self in check and balanced. So you may be your own boss or an authority figure of some kind that is a positive force for the world and for other people. And then you have the Queen of Wands in with the Six of Pentacles. And so she is the King of Wands' natural other half, his female half. He's her male half. She is his female half. They are one and the same. They're just two aspects of the same thing. One is a little softer, one is a little bit more masterful or stern. That's just one way of looking at it. She could be actually the one who is stern, and he could be the one that kind of softens her. They switch roles a lot, I'm sure. And so what I'm getting is that you are meant to partner up with someone else, possibly in some kind of a business venture or creative project or something that you want to manifest that feels like a calling for you or something you've wanted to do for a long time. This can also simply be not just partnering up with someone that is a perfect partner for this project, that can fill in all of the things that you lack and you fill in all of the things that they lack, and together you're able to manifest more than you would if you were alone. Not only that, this can also just be the two sides of you where you are fully integrated now with your masculine and feminine side, or you are able to yeah, I don't really know any other way to put it. So if you need funding, if you need some kind of grant or funding or a way to get started with this, whatever it is, you will receive it. You might need to do a little research, or you might need to reach out a little bit and speak with other people to get some input on how to go about doing that. But it looks like, where is it? It looks like you will receive whatever funding it is that you need in order to get started with this humanitarian project, whatever it is. If you look at the picture, it's a king who has plenty of money, and next to him is a nun and a priest. And their dream in this picture is to build a new church that represents their dreams of charity, of wanting to give to the community, give food, shelter, clothing, help, spiritual help to other people. And the king is more than happy to give them the money that they need in order to build this new church. And this does not have to be religious, by the way. This is just what's going on in this picture. But I am getting something specific about partnering up with other people in order to create something that is extremely meaningful for other people, that is humanitarian in nature. And you are definitely either organizing it or helping to organize this, whatever it is. If you need funding to get this thing started, you will receive it. You just need to ask for help or look into what things you need to do in order to get that. Wow, that's really specific. Hopefully there's somebody watching that makes complete sense for. That's really powerful. Wow. Okay. This bonus reading is lasting a very long time, more than usual, I guess. For whatever reasons, you guys need to hear this, hear more information. So let's go on to health. Here I am again. We're going to do Sagittarius rising, sun, and moon. Person's emotional, mental, and physical health. I'm shuffling the cards on the floor. Okay, let me get a little closer. I'm going to do 6 cards as usual. In the best, highest good for Sagittarius, rising, sun, and moon sign. Is there anything that they need to know, or a specific person really bad needs to know? I'm going to have to pick another card. Okay, another card. Okay, I'm just going to stop there, and hopefully this will make sense in a moment. The top three for health, you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, again, the Five of Swords. The bottom three, the Ace of Cups. The next one on the bottom, the Nine of Cups. The third one on the bottom, the Seven of Cups. I tried to pick other cards to help me explain this, and those are the Nine of Swords and the Emperor. So, sorry. Okay, I'm getting some specific things in here to do with health. One of them is that you may have possibly been overindulging in either eating or drinking or smoking or something. You're overindulging in something that is knocking your chemical balance of your body off. I'm getting specifically something about drinking too much alcohol, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the only option. It could be any kind of overindulgence. It can also be overindulgence in things like sex or drinking or smoking or eating or even just partying, to the extent that not only has it knocked off your body's balance and possibly you're displaying personality imbalances because of that, like excess anger or sarcasm, or just displaying parts of yourself in ways you communicate that if you were balanced chemically in your body, you would be horrified that you're acting that way. It may even be to the degree where you are being cruel towards other people, either with words. Yeah, I'm getting especially with words and sarcasm or opinions. Not only is it knocking all of those things off balance, but it's also knocking your monetary situation off balance. You may be spending way too much money on these things, and then realizing at the end of the month that you're short on money that you need for regular things, like bills, rent, your phone bill, things like that. That's just one option or one possibility or one scenario in here. I'm not saying that all Sagittarius people are going through this, but this is specifically for somebody to hear. Because of this, and because you are having a hard time stopping this or a hard time regulating yourself, it's actually making you feel really bad about yourself. You may be having trouble sleeping. You may be feeling guilty or pained afterwards, where you realize that perhaps you went to the bar the night before, drank too much, and you end up saying really cruel things to somebody at home afterwards or somebody actually there. And then the next morning when you wake up, you feel awful. But part of the reason on why you're overindulging like this is because you are too confined in your life by either responsibilities or things that you perceive you have to upkeep. And something about being stagnant in that authority role is making you let loose in other ways in order to escape that feeling of being trapped by responsibilities, or by having to behave in a certain way or do certain things that you feel like you have completely outgrown. But there's one saving grace in here with this. This is really specific for somebody. There's one saving grace in here that can help you overcome this or get better with regulating. Having a drink or two every now and then is perfectly fine, you guys. Having a smoke every now and then is perfectly fine too. We're talking, this is like on a daily excessive basis, or maybe once a week you just completely let loose and you end up flying off the handle and behaving in ways that you regret afterwards, and it's seriously messing with you. This does not have to apply to all of you. This could even be a reading for one specific person watching. So your saving grace is your family, friends, and the love that you feel in your heart for the people around you, and your close alliances and friends and dear people in your life. Perhaps you've even gotten to the point where you have lashed out on your closest, dearest people in your life, and then felt so awful about it afterwards that you decide to change and turn over a new leaf and start a new regimen or a new thing that you can replace that with. Whether it's hiking or drinking tea instead of alcohol, or going for a walk instead of having a cigarette, or whatever it is. I'm just throwing things out now. But you have dear friends and family that are totally there for you and that wouldn't judge you for this and would do anything to help you help yourself or support you in this process. And also your love for your family, dear friends, and community and the people around you that you feel connected to is so strong that it can easily overpower those other urges. And so that is your saving grace, is focus on what you truly love and what truly matters to you. Which one is more important? The people that you love and feeling love in your heart, or is it trying to escape your responsibilities by overindulging? You can always get rid of your responsibilities. You can easily do that. From the last reading that I did with the career and money stuff, that seemed like major shifts are happening there and new doors are opening up for you. So there's nothing going on that you are actually trapped by. You're just staying there, maybe for conformity's sake or because of what people expect you to do. But that is so un-Sagittarian, you guys. Makes me wonder if one of you that's needing to hear this has planets in Cap or something. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry that's so specific, but sometimes I wonder if anyone's even getting to the end of these bonus videos, if anyone's even bothering to listen to the health stuff. If you are, please comment and let me know. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time and I shouldn't even be doing these. So I love you. Much luck to you. I'm so happy for you. And I'll see you in August. Bye.